You know when you're scrolling through the tech news and it just feels like a random jumble of stories? Well, what if I told you they're not so random? What if a new software policy in Washington, a gaming ban in Iraq, and yeah, even the price of your next phone were all just different threads of the same huge, interconnected story? Let's pull on those threads and see what we find. And that's really the big question we're digging into today. We're going to deconstruct the day's headlines to see if that device you're holding right now is actually at the very center of a massive global power struggle. So, to figure this out, we're going to look at it in three parts. First up, the high-stakes global tech tug-of-war. Then we'll zoom in on how that battle is changing the devices we use every single day. And finally, we'll explore how the software on those devices is shaping our world in some pretty wild ways. Okay, let's start with the big picture. This intense competition brewing between nations. And this isn't just about politicians in suits. It's about the fundamental building blocks of the technology we all rely on. This is a classic case of action-reaction. On one side, you've got the US thinking about new limits on software exports to China, basically trying to protect its lead. And on the other side, China is hitting the accelerator on its own 5-year plan to become totally self-reliant in tech. These aren't two separate headlines. They're two moves in the exact same global chess match. And the fallout from this? Oh, it's huge, and it affects everyone. We're talking about serious disruptions to the global supply chain that gets these gadgets made. The geopolitical stakes just keep getting higher, pushing countries to go from just buying tech to trying to own the future of tech. And if you're a company that depends on US software, well, your future just got a whole lot more complicated. Okay, so you might be thinking, geopolitics, supply chains, what does this actually have to do with me? Well, believe it or not, this global competition trickles all the way down to the price tag on your next phone. 2 nanometers. That sounds tiny, and it is. It's the incredibly advanced, cutting-edge process that's reportedly going to be used for Apple's next generation A20 chip. This is a massive leap forward in technology, and it's a direct result of this global race to be the best. But here's the catch, right? Making these unbelievably complex chips with the help of industry giants like TSMC costs an absolute fortune. So what does that mean? It means all that incredible progress, driven by this global competition, will almost certainly translate to a more expensive iPhone for you and me. All right, so how does all this pressure actually change the phones we hold in our hands? Well, while the geopolitics is messing with the price, it's also pushing companies to innovate in some really interesting and sometimes conflicting ways. Just look at this recent leak about a new OnePlus phone. The rumor is it's going to pack the next-gen Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 chip and a ridiculously huge battery, over 8,000 milliamp hours. To put that in perspective, that's nearly double what you find in a lot of flagship phones right now. It means a monster jump in power. But there's always a trade-off, isn't there? A bigger battery probably means a bigger, heavier phone. And you know, while cramming more power into these things is exciting, there's another trend bubbling up that's just as important. It's not just about how fast your phone is on day one, but how long it can actually stay useful. A perfect example of this is Google promising to give its Pixel 10 series extended graphics driver updates. Now, a driver might sound technical, but just think of it like the instruction manual that lets your phone's hardware and software talk to each other. By keeping that manual updated for longer, Google makes sure your phone's graphics and security stay top-notch, which means it lasts longer. For anyone who's sick of their phone feeling old after just a couple of years, this is a game changer. But hey, not every new idea sticks the landing. While our phones are getting more powerful and lasting longer, other gadgets are really struggling to find their footing. A recent review of Samsung's Galaxy XR headset pretty much said it all, suggesting there's not much hope for Android XR. It just goes to show that even for a behemoth like Samsung, creating the next big thing, like extended reality, is incredibly hard, especially when the competition is already way ahead. Okay, we've covered the global chessboard and the actual hardware. Now let's talk about the magic that makes it all work, the software. Because it's quietly reshaping everything from how we have fun to how entire industries operate. I mean, think about it. Not too long ago, this kind of advanced generative AI was something you'd only see in a high-tech lab. Now, it's a free feature inside Snapchat. With their Imagine Lens, you just open the app, type in whatever crazy idea you have, and poof, a unique AI image appears. This is exactly how powerful tech goes mainstream. It gets simple, easy, and, fun. And this is where you see the two faces of software, right? On one hand, you've got companies like NEC using digital tech in Côte d'Ivoire to make farming more efficient and help secure the food supply. That's tech making a real positive impact on people's lives. But then, on the other hand, you have the government of Iraq banning a super popular game like Roblox because of child safety concerns. It's a powerful reminder that the more software gets woven into our lives, the more it comes under the microscope. So it all comes back around, doesn't it? We started with global export policies and the race for a tiny 2-nanometer chip, and we ended up with the battery life in our phones and the apps our kids are using. It's all connected. And that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. As this technology gets more powerful, more personal, and yeah, way more political, who's actually in charge of where it goes next? Is it the governments, the big corporations, or is it us?